regards to Aqidah, and we know there is too much refutation these days. And so my question is, can we learn Aqidah from popular scholars like, well, I don't want to name, but if I don't say the name, you won't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, just say name. I'll tell you name. Go ahead.
Like Yasir Qadhi.
No.
Or
no. If you want misguidance, listen to Yasir Qadhi. If you want to be misguided, listen to Yasir Qadhi. Yasir Qadhi has an agenda for Muslims in America, unfortunately. وَمَنْ يُرِدِ اللَّهُ فِتْنَتَهُ فَلَنْ تَمْلِكَ لَهُ مِنَ اللَّهِ شَيْئًا. If you want to be misguided, listen to Yasir Qadhi. Again, I think he's asking about some scholar who said worshipping the grave is not shirk. Get a hike. Tell him get a hike. You know, sell that stuff to the people who don't know their belief system. My dear friend, whoever said that, I think it's also Yasir Qadhi who said that, my man. But I tell you, I'm, I said that example before, and I really, the way that I see, I feel sorry for the guy. Wallahi, I feel sorry for him. Wallahi, quite frankly. And even I give him nasiha to his family and maybe his community. I mean, the guy, I want to tell you something. Yasir Qadhi was, mashallah, at a certain time, he was the hope of the people who follow Quran and Sunnah here in this country or in the West. I mean, I don't want to belittle the brother. I mean, I seen his work in Huda. I worked with Huda for a while, and mashallah, the brother is great. But subhanallah, maybe that goes to the sister in Tennessee. What did Yasir Qadhi do to himself? Huh? Or the brother who's living amongst atheists? Or the sister who's living around the drug dealers? All these questions, right? He allowed himself to spend 5 years of his time with philosophers, rationale, in a university called Yale. He tells you that, by the way. He tells, I'm not making, he says that to you. He said I had doubts. Imagine someone who's a graduate of Medina, supposedly the best faculty of Islamic education in the face of this earth, comes in and he goes to Yale, and then he begins doubting, and he wanted to get that PhD so that he can, I don't know what. He went the other way around. They got to him. You see, these philosophers, these rational, you can be in that environment. Let me close here because my time is running out. There is a story I was going to tell. Quite frankly, he doesn't deserve any more responses because every day he's going to come up with something. It looks like attention is a good thing, when I say something, everybody he likes that, I think the whole thing has to do with that. I'd rather spend my time, but what I want to say is, I don't know what is the name of this muhaddith, but I love this story, that someone who used to narrate the hadith perfectly, like Yasir Qadhi at the beginning of his life, if you listen to the guy's stuff, some guy came up with a video saying Yasir Qadhi refuting Yasir Qadhi. Things that he said before Yale and things that he said after Yale. That's all what you have to do, but you don't waste your time. I'd rather learn the religion. But imagine one of the people who used to narrate the hadith. I forgot his name, Allah subhanallah. I'll bring you the name next time maybe. So towards the end of his life, when he gotten old, اختلط. You know what اختلط means? He started mixing up the narrations. There are people who do jarh and ta'dil there. There are people in the around who watch the people who narrate the hadith, and they see if their hifz, if their memorization is still solid, or they started, mixing up things now. They started making up things, mixing up things, saying this hadith is narrated by this, but meanwhile, اختلط means what? He started mixing up. His memory is not as solid as it used to be. He had a very wise, wallahi, and this is what I'm asking the community of Yasir Qadhi to do. Very wise, or his family, very wise daughter. She decided to keep her father inside the house, not to go out. He gotten old anyways. He gotten old. Why? Because now all the scholars who label or assess the narrators, they're going to start saying what? Oh, he got mixed up. Now all the stuff that he did in the past will be gone with the wind. Because quite frankly, it becomes very hard to know when did he start mixing up. Before he narrated this hadith or after? Then you start questioning everything that he narrated. So every hadith, his name is mentioned in the chain of transmitters, will be weakened. They said اختلط. So in order for him to be protected and all that narrations, all that work that he did, all that knowledge before Yale, his daughter wanted to protect it, to keep it. I love you guys for the sake of Allah.